So we're doing this now.
Mm-hmm. My channel, welcome back to UpOnIt. I am Charlene, and again, Happy New Year. I hope the New Year so far is going really well for you. So today, as part of my professional interview series, I have one of my friends who has a super cool job, and I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you a bit about what he does on a day-to-day basis. So over to you.
Thank you, Char, for that lie. I'm very joking. It's a really good job. So my name's Joseph. I've known Char for a while. I work at a marketing agency and we specialise in sponsorship and destination marketing. We are tasked to either come up with events that help to drive the right footfall in terms of the audience, or helps to align themselves with a certain market that they're trying to align themselves with. And on the other side, they may already have an event that's taking place, like for example the Christmas lights that are very big across London, and will be brought in to get a sponsor for that event.
So taking it back, all the way back, what did you study at A-level and what did you study at university?
So in my A-levels I went to sixth form and I studied business studies, English language and literature, history and law. I won't tell you my grades. And then at university I studied law with Charlene.
You did?
Yeah.
And do you feel like those have given you skills you can use today?
I would say all of them have given me skills. I think the subjects I chose were very much about evaluating evidence in one way or another, and what I realised now that I didn't realise then was the skills that I acquired through doing my various courses actually gave me certain attributes that have really helped me today. So one of the things that I've learned is no matter what you do, read your work over and over again. Never have a full stop out of place, never have a comma out of place. Make sure you spot the right there and there. And because the way you write really communicates to that person how you come across. And especially in my role, which in many ways is a sales role, because I'm emailing you as a brand and I'm saying give me your money. The first email that I send is going to be their first impression. So I need to make sure that everything is, even if it's just 3 lines, it has to be on point. And when I'm communicating with clients, I have to make sure that I come across as competent at all times. So as a result, that evaluation and that critique that I've developed through studying stuff like business and law and English and history has really helped me today.
Yeah, definitely. So there you go, guys. Your A-levels, they're not in vain. It's not a waste of time. There's skills you can get from them. So from that, now let's talk a little bit about how you ended up in this sector. So kind of your journey into this sector. You know, how did that happen?
With my role now, I mean, as you know, I studied law. I didn't decide till college that I wanted to study law, and I knew that I wanted to study law because I'd done it in A-levels. I did my degree, but before I joined university, I had a part-time job at an art centre. So one of the biggest art centres in the world, actually, in Europe, definitely the biggest art centre in Europe. And that was as a host, so I was just checking tickets. It was meant to be a summer job. I ended up working there for 8 years. So how that worked out was, as I started to do that on the weekend during college, I then went on to university, but I kept my summer job in London. And after I graduated university, I actually met my old boss at a friend's birthday. But essentially what happened was I made a really good first impression on her. And she didn't know what I did, she didn't know who I was. She was just like, to my friend, there's a job coming up in my team, which was a corporate development team, which is similar to what I'm doing now. I don't know what Joseph does, I don't know if he's going to university, but I just know he's amazing with people and I want him on my team. So it was literally through that one meeting.
Relationships are important.
It's so important because I didn't know who I was talking to, I didn't know what door was being opened as I'm talking to this lady. I joined the corporate development team in this art centre, and then my current company, they came to the art centre and they did an amazing activation for a film, and it was this great experience, and I managed all third-party brands that were coming onto the site. Once again, I made great relationships with these people. I'm a talkative person, I love to make friends with everyone. And as a result, a job came up in my current company and they were like, Joe, do you want to have the job? And it wasn't, I didn't have to do an interview, I didn't have to do hand in my CV. They didn't ask for to be honest, in both of my jobs, I haven't even showed anyone I've got a degree. They didn't ask for qualifications. It was simply, can you do the job? And if you can't, how quick are you at learning? And here I am today in a marketing agency.
Yeah, so from that, obviously it's not what you thought you'd be doing when you were a teenager. What was your career that you thought you'd be doing when you were a teenager?
So as a teenager, I didn't have a career in mind. I'm not going to lie, I'm not one of those people who was born and they're like, I want to be a footballer or I want to be a doctor. All I knew was I'm going to be successful. It wasn't that I wanted to be successful. I just knew
it wasn't
I'm going to be successful. And that isn't from arrogance, but that's from the parents I have. They're very affirming. They spoke words of encouragement in my life, and they always told me, you know, Joseph, you're a great boy, you're very clever, you're so intelligent, you're going to do great. And I mean, they're Christians, hence my name, and they brought it back to the Bible, and everything was all about you're going to be the best, you're going to do the best, you're going to, in everything, you're going to excel.
Yeah.
So I would be lying to tell you that I wanted to do law from a teenage age. But yeah, it's just something that I just fell into, really.
Yeah. And when you kind of think back, knowing now the kind of work that you do, not even just here at your job, but like in the working world, what do you wish that you had known that you could have built on, or what skill do you feel like you have built on that has really, really helped?
I think looking back and just taking time to look back at my progression, the one thing I wish I did then that I do now is listen. I don't think I listened enough to people like my parents, to my older brothers and sisters, to my teachers who have all been there, done that, who have come before me and have learned certain things that I'm now having to learn through my own failures, through my own situations. I think we find ourselves surrounded by people who may irritate us, but if we really take out the emotion, what they're saying is giving you pearls of wisdom. And it's funny that we can listen to someone else's parents and we can respect them, but our own parents may be saying the same thing.
They don't know what we're talking about.
Our own parents can say the same thing, or our own brothers and sisters, or our own teachers, and yet we somehow struggle to comprehend the wisdom or the truth in what they're saying. So I think for me it was just listening. I think getting good counsel and good advice really helps. Like, just gather the advice and then obviously take what makes sense, obviously. But and not all the advice is good advice,
but it's good to listen to people.
And actually sit back and say, wait, okay, let me hold on a minute. And this is a skill I would say that I now have, where I'm very precious with my work. I think my work is great, but sometimes I can put it before a senior person in the team and they're like, oh, I'm not sure about that. And instead of me pushing back, I always question what they're saying. I'm saying, oh, what do you think? Or why do you not like the way I've presented something or the approach I'm taking? And we have a dialogue, but I'm very quick to hear and then I'm slow to speak. So I think that's a really key thing. I think anybody who wants to progress really quickly in their career, you have to listen. You have to learn how to listen anyway, and kind of read between the lines, like you're saying, and see what people are actually trying to tell you. And it's not shut down. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. Totally. And we oftentimes think we're being confident when we're pushing back on things, but actually it's you're being arrogant, or at least you're coming across as being arrogant. What would you say the difference between confidence and arrogance is? Confidence, I think confidence is being sure and having a reason as to why you're doing something. I think arrogance is, I don't care why I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And arrogance is essentially a fruit of pride, and I think that's what it is. And arrogance is, I'm not going to allow you to prove me wrong. Whereas confidence is, I'm confident, even if I'm wrong, I'm confident that me and you are going to find the solution together. You should absolutely be yourself, but you can be yourself in the remit of work, in the remit of being in the law firm, in the remit of being in a financial firm, in the remit of being in a marketing agency. Be yourself within that remit. So you just need to navigate how you act in a certain environment. That's really important. So would you say now that your career is your passion, like how far do you want to take it? What do you see yourself doing in your career in the future? Well, if we're being honest, I didn't know my career even existed. So I couldn't say it was my passion growing up. But once I started doing my job, it became my passion. And this is a passion that's growing. Obviously I studied law, I didn't study marketing, and I feel like I'm not, but maybe I am. I do feel a bit like I'm at a disadvantage. So I'm looking at different courses I can do online that will help me be better than what I am now.
Yeah.
And I guess in terms of the long goal, I would love to be that person that is a veteran in my field. I really want to be known as being really good at sponsorship, not because I need the affirmation from anyone, but because I think it's a true sign of whether you're good at your job.
Yeah.
I think if you're good at what you do,
people will come to you. In your life, thinking of all the people that you know, who models success for you? What does that mean to you, and why? Who models that success for you?
I think if I look at everyone that I know, the person that models success for me is probably my previous boss.
Okay.
She's just quit her job and she's decided to go back to university to study. And she's 42. And to still be reinventing yourself at that age, I really feel like that's the person who is so secure in what they do that they can just be whoever they want to be, and that really is for me a sign of success. And how much she's owned those skills and how transferable those skills are. So yeah, I think that is really a symbol of someone that's
successful.
really.
So you wouldn't classify success necessarily in monetary terms?
No.
You classify it as skills and knowledge and being an expert in your field?
Absolutely. Okay. I don't know how political I can get, but Donald Trump is the president. I would not say he's a lot of people are great at ladder climbing, but they don't. That doesn't
have integrity.
No,
they don't treat people well. Treat people well all the time.
Well, but let's not even make it romantic. I think some people just aren't that great, but they've managed to get to the top and they've pulled people down on the way up. I think
so. You would definitely not say you don't be successful by any means.
Yes, and it's not, and you have to really sit down and really make sure you've put down the right indicators for yourself and make sure it's not influenced by anyone else, because you're going to be the only one doing that journey. So that's really important.
Definitely. So, all of that stuff, so much wisdom there.
Thank you.
Top 3 tips. What would you say to somebody who's wanting to either get into marketing, who is younger, and maybe at uni, form? What are the top 3 tips that you would say to them?
So my first top 3 tips would be never miss an opportunity to network. It's so important. You don't know who you're meeting. I went to a wedding once, and this was when I first got my previous job in corporate development, and I just had my business cards, and I just kept handing them out to random people. Little did I know I was handing it out to the marketing director of Sony PlayStation, and it secured me my first business meeting. So never miss an opportunity to network. It's so important.
It was Sony PlayStation.
It was huge, and now he's gone on to do amazing stuff. And that's a contact I'll forever have. My second top tip, which I think I've touched upon earlier, is always read and reread your work. It's so important to get a good first impression.
Especially if you're not good at reading your own work.
Exactly.
I'm not great at reading my own work.
It's so important to reread your own work. And then also, in terms of marketing and selling something, selling a commercial opportunity, always question yourself. Always ask the question that a client might ask you, because the moment they ask you, if you haven't got an answer straight away, they're just going to be like, no, I'm alright. You just asked me for 100 grand and you can't answer that question.
Even before you go to meetings, write down the questions you're thinking I'm going to ask you.
Always have. It's not a bad thing to have a piece of paper down with just notes and something to reflect upon.
And last tip.
Have as much fun as you want in marketing. It's a very fun world, as long as your work speaks for itself.
Okay, that's good.
So that when you do have those opportunities to network and to go to amazing places abroad and go to premieres for movies, just know I've earned that and I can enjoy that and I work hard. Don't be the person that always talks but have nothing to show for it.
Be on your grind. So guys, that was Joseph, and he is an account manager at a marketing agency, and those were great tips. I learned a lot from that, and I hope you guys did too as well. So thank you so much for being on the professional
interview. Thanks for having me. It was absolutely fun.
So guys, if you have any specific questions, drop them in the comments, or as always, DM me, email me, stayinguponit@gmail.com, and definitely subscribe, comment, like, share, and I'll have so many more videos for you in the professional interview series with loads of people working different types of careers. So stay tuned, and I will see you next week. Bye guys.
See you guys.